Greetings, my friends. Reform Stoic back with another video. So, I'm a little bit confused of what timeline to go with here, but I'm just going to try to let this unfold as organically as possible. The topic of this video is why you should stay away from the party scene. Now, in a similar manner to my other videos, this information I hope finds you very young. The younger you find this message, the better. The party scene that really comes to mind for me is high school. There's a lot for me to unpack as a young 30s man. Just kind of going back and analyzing high school. I feel like I haven't even fully gotten to college yet, but you know, college party scene is similar. But if you live your life the way that you should in high school, you will develop more properly and be more prepared for college if you decide to go to college. So, where I wanted to start was thinking of the party scene like a poker game where winner takes all. And this is kind of similar to, you know, some of these black-pilled things that are being discussed today, like the 80-20 rule, or honestly the statistics are making it look almost more like a 90-10 rule. Or more so like 80% of women are going for the top percent of men. It's like the more people are at the party, they're kind of offering this energy to this ritual where the winner takes all. Okay, more women at the party are going to be impressed by the small select group of men. More men at the party is just more dorks and dweebs for women to laugh at and push them even further into the arms of the cream of the crop bad boys. And it's interesting to observe that hypergamy has accelerated in the times we're living in. Well, I feel like the party scene has accelerated as well. Sure, it's always been around, but you look at pop music, and I definitely think, you know, ultimately, like, rap has become pop music, this, like, pop-infused rap, and it's Male Male Percocet, party, club, you know. The party scene continues to evolve into the mainstream. It's been in the mainstream, and I bring up the example a lot of the movie, not Fast Times at Ridgemont High, the other one, the later one, Dazed and Confused. So you think about the main characters in that movie are the 8th graders. There's like this one 8th grade guy who's kind of the main character, and he starts out, he's getting paddled by the seniors, right? But he makes a point that it's not really a big deal, and they throw him a beer, and then he shows up at the cool older kids party, and by the end of the movie, he's kind of partying with seniors, and he's kind of been initiated into the party scene, and he's hanging out, making out with this older chick, and it all kind of works out for him. In my experience, and this is just my experience, that's not real life. And I know that there's a lot of people on my channel, a lot of guys, they're telling me like they're the outcast in high school. They were never even involved in the party scene. I mean, ultimately, I don't know if I really want my channel to necessarily be full of high schoolers. I mean, we do a lot of live streams, and it tends to be more like people in their 20s. I mean, you're welcome. All ages. Ultimately, I'm trying to educate people here. And it's just like, I kind of tried to pass this like hazing of the party scene. And arguably, I did. Like, the respect that I got from the group grew as time went on, as I spent time with that group. But what's really happening is you're just developing into a bad person, into an empty person. And, you know, me personally, I had I had some gems in my life, like my talents, the things I was passionate about, music, things that I have kept with me my entire adult life, and now I have completely transformed, and I don't drink, I don't smoke weed, and I'm living for Christ, and I'm a completely different person. And, I still play drums, and I played drums back then, and it was kind of just like a rope that could help me climb out of that way of life. So I wanted to get into the idea that it's like a pagan ritual. I've mentioned that. Especially here, like the scenery is just on point here in Alaska. When you're partying in the woods, in the night, the high schoolers all sneak off, maybe to a far away down the road. We only have like 40 miles of road system here. We all agree on a place, like one of these further out the road beaches, and we get a big fire going, and we all drink and dance around the fire and get in fights and have sex. And it's just very pagan in nature. It's like a celebration of everything worldly and everything bad. And ultimately, the one thing that's acceptable to have going for you at these parties, there's a few things, but mainly just being attractive. Like, worldly things are worshipped in the party culture. So if you are just a big, tall guy, and then, you got like the social norms down, you dress the right way, you're a big, tall guy with a good hairline, and you got your cool, like, whatever, skater sweater and your jeans, and it's just about being worldly, man. So, you got the social norms down, you're well adjusted in terms of social norms, you're neurotypical, big and tall and good looking and cool, and that's it, man. Everything else is about being a husk of a person, just being completely empty. And anything you try to bring, like, oh man, I'm already taking thermo, I'm already working on college level mathematics, I'm already working on college level mathematics. Wow, dude, that's gonna get you laid, pussy. Okay, sorry about that. that was a little simulation of somebody at the party. It could be anything. Anything that sets you apart. Oh, look at me. Cool, dude. You're still a fucking dork, right? You're still a midget, right? Oh, look at the midget rapper. Spaghetti. Everything that you do, other than being a complete husk and shell of a person, will be used against you. Okay? And this is my experience. I believe I've seen hints of things being this way in television shows, in movies, okay? It goes back to that. I've explained this a number of times. The Lord of the Flies. It's a bunch of kids away from structure, away from rules, away from adult supervision, making their own rules. And what floats to the top? It's usually just going to be the biggest, baddest, like, coolest people who are in that group, man. And ultimately, a lot of the biggest, baddest, coolest people are going to be at football practice and doing their homework and getting good grades and trying to get a scholarship. And they might not be there, okay? But you're going to get these, like, degenerate kids who, they talk the right way and they dress the right way. And a lot of times you got people who are already alcoholics, like people would make fun of me. It's like, oh, dude, he doesn't finish beers. Like, he leaves beers unfinished. These people are all, like, developing alcoholism. And, the party scene for me extended into college. Like, I would come back and visit through my early 20s. So this same kind of scene was extending into my 20s when I was college age. I definitely was a part of, like, a different party scene on the East Coast. So I guess it just kind of depends where you grew up and where you go to school. But I feel like in a small town or just at your school, there's going to be a party scene. When you get to the parties, there's going to be drinking. There's going to be the stoners. The stoners kind of, like, separate off. And, looking back, man, it's all degenerate. But low-key, like, The stoners are a little bit more wholesome, man. They're giggling in a car with each other, telling stories, relaxing, looking out the window of the car at all the chaos going around at the fire. People around the fire are drunk and maybe low key on like coke or crack or something. Somebody's methed out and people are getting in fights and pissing matches. And one of my friends told me, it's like, dude, weed and women does not go together. I also had a psychologist tell me that, and he brought up the movie Dazed and Confused. It's like, you know, think about the stoner guy from that movie. Was he one of the guys doing well with women? No, he wasn't. And then he got made fun of by the football player guy. Check you later, check you later. Come on, man. Women don't buy that shit. Women aren't about that. So yeah, a little bit all over the place on this one. I just feel like there's so many things I can say. Drinking is destructive, okay? Marijuana and alcohol, that's more than enough to throw your life off course. It really is, and it's just such a damn shame. I mean, people know about being an alcoholic, alcoholism, alcohol poisoning, but freaking weed, man. Weed is just eternal. Dude, weed is not a big deal. They'll bring up alcoholism. Dude, alcohol's legal, and like, that's what makes you beat your wife. That's what makes you get in a car accident. That's what kills you. Weed will never kill you. Weed will never do that. Man, weed just... it's out there. The message is out there. Like, there's an episode of South Park where, you know, at the very end of the episode, it's the one where they get somebody to pretend to be Cartman's future self to try to like scare him out of being on drugs, like he's a loser version of his future self. And they have that, like, the moral of the story music at the end of the South Park. It's like, look, we don't want to lie to you, son. It's just like people who smoke weed become content with boring things, and as a result they just kind of become empty and boring. I don't remember exactly what they said, but it's just a productivity killer, man. It will just kill your drive. You might have been the next Galileo, but instead you're watching Rick and Morty, smoking a bong, and then it's like, but that's material, bro. That's material, and you don't need to go out there and try to be somebody, bro. Kick back, relax, dude. And I still got a lot of people on my channel who smoke weed. I get it. You know, I encourage growth. I encourage cutting these things out, but I'm not going to beat you over the head with it. This is why I'm saying I want this information to get out there early, man. I'm hoping that, I mean, even middle school. And again, I've already addressed it. Like why do you want, like, middle schoolers watching your videos, bro? Because I want to help people, you guys. I'm probably never going to be a guidance counselor, and it makes me sad. And it's just like, I think about the path that I got led down, and I think about how there was really just nobody around giving me good advice, and it just kills me, man. So trying to kind of bring it home here, because I just don't even really know how to kind of like chronologically lay out this video. There is no winning for you, the average or sub-average man. Like, the black pill is the most true in high school, and I'd pretty confidently say college as well, especially in the party scene, man. And if you get really caught up in that party scene in high school, you're gonna be wanting to continue that way of life into college, and it's just not gonna do anything positive for you. It's a celebration of being normal. It's a celebration of being well adjusted, but it's so ironic and contradictory to say well adjusted, because being in a hurry, like always looking forward to going out and getting all messed up and getting drunk and making an ass of yourself with a bunch of people who don't strive to be anything, there couldn't be anything further away from well adjusted, man. But it's like, oh, but these guys get the girls, and that's where it's just like, first of all, you'll hear a lot of people talking about an abundance mindset, okay? Yes, there are hot girls who go to the parties. Yes, there are guys at those parties who are taking advantage of those girls. But it's not all the women, bro. There's different lanes. There's different kind of girls out there. You got to have that abundance mindset. You do not have to go to parties to have some success with women. You want to have well-adjusted success with women. Ultimately, the highest example of well-adjusted success is you go to a Catholic church and you be Catholic and you get married someday and you fall in love and get married. That's the most well-adjusted. But just trying to meet you halfway, like, it's cool to be smart, okay? And it took me way too long to realize that. And I had a bunch of like degenerate people that I filled my life up with, and as soon as I kind of realized that I had some potential to be smart, it pissed everybody off, man. Okay? If you really want to fit in at the party, the kind of process they're going to take you through that, you know, I mean, that movie Dazed and Confused happens over the course of like one day. I'm talking like your whole high school career. I didn't start partying until my junior year, but man, that was a long junior and senior year with a lot of memories. And like I said, it continued, you know, first 3 or 4 years into my 20s when I'd come back and visit. That evolution that this group will take you through is like, they're going to want to see you get in trouble or like risk getting in trouble. Okay, I'm lucky. I never got an MIP or a DUI or that kind of stuff, but it's going to be your turn to drive drunk. It's like, oh no, man. I was like, oh, he doesn't want to drive drunk. Well, somebody's got to drive, dude. And you drink like a fucking pussy, man. So come on, dude. Are you cool or not? Are you cool or not? They're going to want you. It's like a gang mentality. It's just like this gang of waste. And the thing that's probably going to be held over your head is being able to get at these party chicks. And chances are, guys, like, if you didn't just waltz right into that party scene and be Mr. fucking cool, it's probably not going to happen, bro. And it's not worth it if it does happen, because those women have already been gotten to by all these other guys, bro. If you get a turn, then you get a turn. And it ain't nothing more than fornication. These people will just pull you into the darkness, and they'll validate you. And yeah, man, you know, I'm thinking about the people in my chat saying they're outcasts in high school. I was not an outcast in high school or my early 20s. And people who didn't really know me and were looking at me maybe just saw me as like another one of the popular guys, is where it got to. But what they didn't realize is that behind the scenes, I was low on that totem pole, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people knew that. But I was low on that totem pole, and I was trying to impress people who in real life were below me, okay? Because I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but I had talent on the drums. I was getting talked about like I had potential to be something, man, and I went for it. And it didn't really work out. And, you know, could have I been well adjusted and did everything right and practiced way harder and maybe it would have worked out? Maybe. I think if I would have cleared all the pot, smoke, and alcohol out of my life, I probably would have come to my senses and been involved in school activities and had people like, hey, man, you're smart and you get good grades. And you ever think about being like a doctor or a lawyer or an engineer or like something that actually makes money and has a future? And then, you know, you can play drums on the side and play in local bands and keep getting better. I mean, when I have drum students, next time I have drum students, it's going to be a part of my lessons. Like, bro, you do not need to go to Berklee College of Music. You do not need to be a music major. Here's like a list of like all the hip happening jazz cats. Here's people that you can study and transcribe, and here's the best way to practice. And, you know, be hungry, like learn. You have plenty of time to practice and get good grades and play in sports. I think people in high school should be in sports. Hopefully you're already in sports, but you know what? Like, if you're hearing this and you're like a freshman or sophomore, just join wrestling, dude. Just join wrestling and just get your ass kicked, bro. Just get freaking like pummeled. Just get slammed to the ground by manlets, dude. There's a lot of manlets in wrestling. Just get your freaking ears grinded by manlets, dude. Because that's building something of value. You know what you're building when you're chug, 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 chug. If you stop chugging that 40, you're a bitch. If you stop chugging that 40, dude, I'm gonna slam you. Like, you're gonna get wrestled at the parties anyway, dude. People are gonna wrestle you at the parties. You might as well get embarrassed in the mat room where a coach is going to teach you how to do better, where you're going to like compete and wear a singlet and girls are going to be looking at you thinking, wow, like that guy's getting muscular. Like, seriously, dude, I really think that you should just figure out a sport that you can just be okay in. You don't have to be the best, bro, because, you know, maybe you have something else that you shine in. And I think everybody has the potential to have something that they shine in. But whoever you are, if you want to be a dancer or an actor or a musician, or you're just a nerd and you want to be a doctor and you want to be a lawyer, or you want to be a businessman, or whatever it is you are, hanging out at a fire with a bunch of dudes who all had messed up childhoods, trying to one-up each other, where ultimately, like, the women are just going to gravitate toward the pretty boys, man. That's the reality, is they're going to gravitate toward the pretty boys, and you're going to try to win points with these guys, and you're going to try to, like, be their bro. You're going to be the guy on the passenger side of his best friend's ride trying to holler at me. Whatever TLC doesn't want you, dude, you're in the passenger side of your best friend's ride. She's not looking at you, okay? You're going to be little bro. And that's what I was. And, like, you know, these guys who got girls started to, like, have a little bit more respect for me, but they're probably still calling me a bitch behind the scenes, and I'm pretty sure they were, man. And it doesn't mean anything, bro. You know where a lot of those guys are now? Dead. A lot of those guys are dead. Or they're just like, maybe they got clean, and you know, a lot of times by the people get clean, they've already pissed their life away, dude. I don't want to discourage, I mean, by all means, get clean, man. And if there's anything that I regret, it's like, I've been kind of insensitive to people that have struggled with addiction, or I've been insensitive to all kinds of people, but it's like, I know a lot of really good dudes, really intelligent guys who just, they got caught up, man. They got caught up with opiates, and it's killing them, and they can't stop, and I got some shit that I can't stop. I'm trying to get off of pornography, and that's a bitch, and it's just like, I want to be more sensitive about people who struggle with addiction, but the point of what I'm saying is, like, just don't go there, man. Just don't be addicted. Don't get into weed. Don't smoke weed for 15 years like I did and then realize, like, oh, wow, it really kind of does make you a loser. Not all the way, but you'd probably be less of a loser if you smoked less weed or no weed. Alcohol single-handedly, because it's been so long since I've had that, like, never-ending feeling of sadness that I know so many guys. I mean, it's very common. If you're a young 20s guy and you're like, man, I just have this never-ending feeling of sadness. First of all, it's really common in these times. It's going to take you a long time to shake off the red-pilled rage or whatever with women. If you're a chud and it's not going well for you, which is like 63% of men in their 20s at this point, probably more. Biggest changing factor for me when I started to watch that just never-ending sadness go away is just stopping drinking, bro. And probably the most American thing ever, the most, like, modern West thing ever, is being on antidepressants and drinking regularly. And women, I'm sorry, the reality is that's modern women in a nutshell. Oh, I have depression. Are you coming to the party tonight? Yeah! Just let me pop some antidepressants real quick. Like, bro, don't even think about getting on antidepressants until you haven't had a drink for 6 months. Okay? Seriously. And that's a pretty bold statement. I try to, like, pad things. And, oh, I'm not a psychologist. Don't even think about getting on antidepressants if you've had a drink in the last 6 months. Okay? That's my advice. I mean, you know, take it or leave it. But that cloud of, like, sadness and you know, drinking is not, like, the hugest deal in the world. And the thing is, guys, trying to kind of get close to wrapping it up, I do have some good memories of partying, okay? And it's when you have, like, good friends around. At the end of the day, if you can hold your alcohol responsibly, I mean, I guess the goal is to have some good people around. I made a video on friendship, and it's like, it's people that you win with, bro. It's people that you win at life with. And it's like, if you're in high school, it's like, listen, I am going to go to the party, or you're in college, it's like, I'm going to the parties, bro. Be surrounded by winners, whatever it is. If you're like a college wrestler, maybe to celebrate, you and your college wrestler buddies stumble into a party one time or every now and then, okay? But you don't want to get caught up with the degenerates. You don't want to get caught up, man. Okay, every now and then, like the football team would come celebrate or people would come celebrate, but it's like there's the basketball chads who would like you'd see at the party every now and then if there's like some huge event that everybody's at, and then there's the people that freaking huff duster and like try to break into the high school and like catch things on fire, you know, like the loser chuds who go to the parties all the time. You don't want to be one of those people, man. Okay, and then you grow up and then those people are all over like the neighborhood watch list getting talked about for all the crime they're involved in, and they're in the paper for all the assaults and batteries and robberies, and they're on heroin, and bro, it's just not worth it, and the women are not worth it. And if I could do it all over again in high school, I would just try to be like a stereotypical, basically what your parents want you to be, dude. And that's what sucks about having a bad upbringing. Okay, I don't want to word it like having bad parents or having a bad upbringing with bad parents, like, you know, just having a hard time when you're growing up, because chances are your parents are telling you not to drink, and they're telling you not to smoke weed, and they're telling you not to be a loser. And then your health teacher, when you take health class, they're telling you not to drink, they're telling you not to sleep around, and it just goes in one ear and out the other. And they're right, bro. I would go back in time and be that. I would focus on school, I would focus on drums. And I think the most valuable skill that can guide you through all of this, and when it's time to kick back, cut loose, and enjoy yourself, your bedroom with a couple slices of pizza and a Pepsi, watching TV, watching a movie, just enjoying the little things, man. I had that empty feeling inside of me that basically developing depression from alcoholism in high school will do to you. You're a young, developing person, okay? There's a chance that my IQ would have been way higher if I didn't drink and smoke weed in high school, okay? That's a big one. You want me to scare you? Like, you might be cucking your developing brain with weed and alcohol, man. And, so that empty feeling that makes you not want to be alone in your bedroom on a Friday night, that's a big part of that, is you're developing depression from alcoholism, man. Because alcohol is a depressant, and that just does not do well for a lot of people. And you know how a lot of guys fight it in high school and college? They become alcoholics. They drink all the time. They day drink, and then they can be the guy at the party who drinks everybody under the table. And guess what? Women think that's awesome. It doesn't matter, bro. We're talking about the lamp, okay? One of my favorite examples is the Cave of Wonders in Aladdin. Touch nothing but the lamp. The party thoughts, the fitting in, the impressing douchebags, the like, oh right, little bro, being the guy who wins the party that one time and gets the girl to smile at you. That's all the gold and the jewels in the Cave of Wonders. And it looks pretty good, man. Yeah, I want that. I just want to put it all in the bag. But if you touch anything but the lamp, the whole cave melts and you're trapped there forever, bro. Nothing but the lamp, the straight and narrow path. I want to be a doctor. I want to be a millionaire by the time I'm 25 years old. Having that kind of one pointed focus, knocking your grades out of the park, and just learning to just taking a walk by yourself. And it's probably like a different video trying to like navigate, like, you know, some sort of like Reformed Stoics guide to high school fitting in declassified. That's a whole nother video trying to get into that. Like, how can you like not be seen as a weirdo loser and be ostracized while simultaneously not getting sucked into the party? It's like balancing a bunch of freaking plates on your head, man. I mean, ultimately the black pill rules in high school. Some of my advice I wanted to give is like, if you drive to school, which, you know, you should, by the time you can drive, you should get a car and have a car at school. That's definitely going to help with women. You should try to go in through like the side door, go in through the door that gets you to your classroom. Maybe like sit in your car, come up with some sort of a ritual, I know that like 15 minutes before class starts, you're like, oh, I'm here before class starts. And all the chads are like sitting in the main, whatever, we called it the horseshoe, waiting for class. And they're like being loud and trying to one up each other and be like, it's like, yo, Shields, what's up with your hair, you fucking ginger? Like, you're trying to avoid that kind of shit, You're trying to avoid that stuff before class starts. Have some sort of a ritual. Sit in your car and drink your coffee and noodle around on your phone. Like, look over some notes. Have like a 15-minute study session. Walk in the door 5 minutes before class. Go straight to your class. Sit out in the hall for a couple minutes before your class. It's not impossible to avoid that stuff. Oh my gosh, I don't know where I'm going to sit during lunch. I should have just like went and played the practice pad, went and ate lunch by myself and played the practice pad. But what I do remember is that adults were saying that kind of stuff to me when I was in high school. And I was like, bro, you sound like a dork. You sound like one of the losers. Like, I have to fit in. I have to be seen as cool. What you're going for is the mysterious guy. There's going to be a lot of people who want you to be labeled a loser, okay? Work out. Do wrestling. Do sports. Be bigger. Be better. Be able to beat somebody up. Know how to fight. Take boxing. Take martial arts. Be involved in sports, okay? That's what's going to help you. Be involved in sports. Be focused. Use that shit as an excuse. It's like, nope, I don't have time. I got wrestling practice. And, whatever friends you have, don't ever let them be the kind of guys like, ring, 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 hello, dude, I'm on my way over. It's like, oh, no, dude. I was like, shut the fuck up, bitch. We're going to go party. Like, and that's like every teen movie ever, bro. That's like, this sounds like the beginning of a teen movie that's a classic. It's like, ring, what's going on? Dude, I'm on my way to pick you over. Like, that's the main character. That guy's played by, like, Michael Cera or something or whatever. Jonah Hill. That's Jonah Hill. Shut up, bitch. We're going to the party. And that's a great movie, but that's how you become a loser, bro. Superbad is like the guide to be a loser. You don't want to be like that. Most people aren't winners. Winners wake up early, get good grades, do wrestling, do sports. Don't worry about like, oh, where am I gonna sit at lunch? Who am I gonna hang out with at lunch? Create some routine where you're just a ghost and nobody has any idea where you are. You're in the mat room, wrestling people. You're lifting weights during lunch. You're playing on your practice pad during your lunch. Like, be that guy, bro. And the reality is that most high schoolers just can't be that guy. Be that guy in college, trying to like carry this stuff over to the college mindset. I mean, bro, you're spending money to get a degree. Nobody who's in their late teens or their early 20s thinks about when you're a career guy. But eventually, you will be 32 years old and you'll be thinking, wow, it would have been awesome if I had like a good degree and an awesome career and I did everything right, because then you have the means to be set up in life. So, and just nobody's ever thinking about that, man. And then it's like, oh, but if you miss out on teen love, well, that's going to be held over your head. Bro, I feel like the deciding factor, if you're going to be able to take part in teen love or whatever, that sounds really creepy to say, but this is something that people are talking about on the internet, okay? It's something that guys are all hung up over. It's going to be your looks, man. It's like, are you well adjusted and do you have good looks? Good grades, sports, working out, focused is well adjusted, okay? If you're 5'1" and bald when you're 15, you're going to have a hard time, buddy. But if you're not, because there's a good chance that you're not, if you're like 5'9" and you got a good hairline and you're athletic, bro, be well adjusted. The parties are a mirage. It's an illusion, okay? That's not being well adjusted. It doesn't matter if there's the guy with this cool element sweater who's like tall and he's just naturally strong and he's naturally good looking. Okay, those people are coasting. Those people are always going to exist. There's always going to be the dude bro who coasts off of his charisma and good looks and has 3 ways with cheerleaders, and it sucks, and they're a distraction, dude, and you're going to try to have a pissing match with them. You're going to try to win their favor, and they're going to be your boss. You're going to be joining the cult of the Lord of the Flies and the pagan ritual, dancing around the fire and fighting and drinking and fornicating. All those people grow up to be atheists, by the way. It's fucking shocking, bro. I've been through all of this, man, and I'm lucky that I got away from it. Whoever you are, however old you are, just get away from it. Most people here are like close enough to my age, you know? You might as well, if you're smart for your age and you're like 24, 25, you might as well be one of my peers, bro. I've had friends within like 6 years of my age for a long time. When I was in high school, I had older friends until they graduated. Then I had younger friends. Then in college, I had some friends who were like 5 or 6 years older. I feel like most of the people who are going to be watching this video, who are already regulars on my channel, you're closer to my age. In which case, it's like, you know, get off alcohol. Get off weed. The blueprint is rough, okay? The blueprint is like no fap and no sex until you get married. Be a Catholic. Read the compendium of the Catholic Church and do everything it says. And don't smoke weed and don't do drugs. I mean, that's the blueprint, guys, and it's hard, but work out. And I'm always talking about the strong silent type, okay? Jean-Claude Van Damme movies, Chuck Norris movies, Steven Seagal movies. I like Steven Seagal movies. I feel like people give him way too much crap. Charles Bronson, okay, you're that guy with the stern look on his face, sits down at the bar by himself, and then some douchebag is like, "Ooh, who's this guy?" And then you just slam him over a table, dude. And then everybody in the bar tries to pick a fight with you, and you freaking smash a pool cue, and then you're beating everybody up, okay? Metaphorically, because not everybody can be that. But and then there's the girl who kind of just gravitates toward you, and you just kind of like, you're stirred and quiet, and you don't talk much, do you? Oh, can I come? It's like, whatever. Okay? Women are just going to gravitate toward you when you're a winner, man. And you got to believe that. And you got to be that. And you got to follow it. You got to strive towards something higher, okay? Because losers are like, yeah, there's no God. And, it doesn't even matter anyway. And, oh, you think you're going to be a musician? Oh, yeah, you think you're going to be some hotshot? You're probably not going to be shit. You're just trying to cope with the fact that you can't get laid, okay? The guy who's tall and cool, he's going to hold that over you, and those guys are always going to exist, man. And chances are you weren't born with the genetics to beat that guy in a pissing contest in high school. So, that's what I got for you, chuds. I hope this information finds people well. I think I'm happy with how this came out. Man, 38 minutes. I was not really sure what I was going to say. I sure said a lot, so I'm going to go upload this and premiere it, and hopefully it came out all right. God bless you, my friends. I'll see you for the next one. Form Stoic out. Wait, 38 minutes and